Just taking this step forward is really gonna help make you feel like you're a part of the community and make you feel like you're at home, even if you're not. Back. I feel like it's been forever since I actually filmed a long form video, but there have been some really exciting things happening in my life that I'm sure some of you have been following along with on my Instagram channel. We're doing Eingewöhnung at the Kita for my daughter right now. We did the Einschulung at the school for my son. I think there's a lot of content that we have to share, but there's one question that I wanted to answer for you guys today. I'm starting to realize now that the weather is getting a little bit colder, people are starting to panic. They're wondering if Germany's the place for them. People are starting to feel homesick. The way most people start off this question for me is, Jenna, you've been here for 10 years. Like, how do you do it? How do you not feel the urge to get up and want to move back to Canada? I did have a very, very easy way into Germany. People make it look so darn easy, and I'm gonna tell you it's not. I moved here because I was in love with this boy who I had met in South Africa, and that was my pull. I had that drive, that motivation to come here. So if you don't have that drive from the get-go, homesickness can be a lot harder. I'm not saying that it's easy for me, it's definitely not. I've been in Germany 10 years and I still get homesick. But there are some really easy changes that I made in my life to make sure that I don't constantly feel this overwhelming sense of being homesick, missing my family, wanting to go home. Make your house a home. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? Except so many of you, when you move to Germany, rent an apartment. It's typically fully furnished at the beginning. And then when you rent an unfurnished apartment, you end up reaching out, getting some super cheap secondhand, which is great. But take the time to decorate your apartment the way that you want. Guys, I have 3 rooms in my house dedicated to Canada. Call me crazy, but going into these rooms helps me. I have shelves with little Canadian trinkets. I've got Canadian posters on the wall. I've got Canadian colors and bears hanging on my closet doors and barn doors that remind me of Canada. Do that, but also implement things into your home that are cozy, that make you feel like you just want to snuggle up into a blanket and read a good book, drink some warm tea, especially in the winter. If there's anything I would spend money on, it would be a really good cozy bed that you want to live in, but also you need a reason to get out of bed. So I created this space for both my husband and I, but you could make it just for yourself, where we often just spend time relaxing. I love being in front of the fireplace. That kind of brings back memories of home for me. In my big cozy comfy chair. In one of my recent videos, I showed you the chairs that I had there, but they're not comfortable. And I've been looking for ages for something that would really make that space my kind of comfort zone, you know what I mean? Where I can sit, I can have tea, I can watch the fire, and then right next to that is my husband's records. He's just set that all up to make his little cozy corner too. But now we have the best chair, and it just was a fluke. This company, FlexiSpot, they emailed me and they had asked if I wanted to work together and promote their upcoming sale that they have. And as soon as I opened the link, I was like, it's my chair, it's my chair. I've always wanted a reclining chair, but it's not that common to get a reclining chair that's super stylish, So I was like, yes, absolutely. I would love to work together. They were super easy to set up. We have 2. I'm gonna see if both of them fit in that space. They might be a little bit too tight. I think it took me about 30 minutes to set them both up into that space. They swivel 360, so we can swivel the chair to my husband's records, and then I can swivel it back to watch the fireplace. It reclines, and there's 2 different models. So I actually chose the manual model because I liked the fact that it swiveled 360 degrees. So you can turn around entirely. However, they do have the electric model too, which looks pretty cool as well if you want to be able to charge your phone. And you've got this little secret space where you can stash books or magazines or whatever you want for your cozy little space there. So I've got my bed, the coziest thing I own. I've got my workspace where I spend most of my day. So I've made sure that my workspace corner is also very much me. I've got a lot of plants there. I always light a candle in the winter time. I make my space cozy. And then of course, at the end of the day, when I want to unwind, I've got this little corner with my amazing FlexiSpot reclining chair. Of course, this is a sponsored ad, so I will include a link down below. They have products up to 45% off. That link you will find down below if you want to go check out exactly which model I have. XC6, that's the manual one. The other electric one, XR6. And our 2 chairs are in this orange-brown color that you'll find on their website. Otherwise, it can be secondhand. It can be from anywhere. Just make your spaces home. Make it you. Number 2, In almost every single one of my videos, I encourage you to learn the language. I'm not gonna go deep into this today, and yes, I said these were easy implementations to make. So if you're working full-time and you found every excuse in the book not to learn a language, then just do a simple app like Babbel or something on your phone. You can do 15 minutes a day if you want. Keep up with the language, because interacting and integrating into the community, into the society here in Germany also requires you to learn the language, no matter where you live. Yes, you can live in Berlin, make tons of friends in English. Congratulations if you have, but if you want to open up your opportunities here to really integrate yourself in order to make yourself feel at home, learn the language. Number 3 is become an expert in your neighborhood. I think this should be fun. I think most people really enjoy doing this, but when I first moved to Düsseldorf, I really did not like it. If you have heard my background story as to why I started lifeindusseldorf.com, it was because I really did not like the city. Düsseldorf is known for art and fashion and these very posh places. You know, there's fancy cars going down the Königsallee here, and it's just not me. I love hiking, I love flea markets, I love getting dirty and being outdoors and being silly, and I just felt like I didn't fit in. But that's not necessarily true, because if you spend the time to explore each neighborhood, especially your own, I was living in Unterbeck at that time, you start to really become this expert in your own area, and when you're an expert in something, you're always typically usually excited to talk about it. And it feels nice, you know, it feels nice to be well educated and to know more about something than someone else. So in Unterbeck, in Düsseldorf, for example, I went to just about every restaurant down the street. Once a week, I'd choose somewhere new to explore. I'm not that type of person who will go to the same restaurant over and over again, which I really love about myself, is that I crave new adventures. But if you are that type of person, really try to pull yourself out of that comfort zone and spend one day a week going into a new shop or a new restaurant in your neighborhood or in your community to really get to know the area, get to know the people, and just get to know what's around you. Number 4, out of all the tips I'm gonna give you today, this is gonna be the trickiest one. This is the one that I didn't manage to master when I first got started, but I think if somebody had have told me how important it was, like I'm gonna tell you right now, then I probably would have done it. Join groups and communities, not just the ones that you're gonna find in your expat bubble of English speakers. That's a great start too, because they will help you feel comfortable, you know, talk about your emotions and your feelings, but also jump way out of your comfort zone and join some German clubs. Don't be scared. Germans like speaking English. Germans appreciate if you can speak a little bit of German, but at the same time, in clubs, especially in sports clubs, I find that it's a different world. Like, people are there with open arms, they're excited to have new team members, and they are gonna help you with the German language and also likely speak English. So give it a shot. Go to a Probestunde or a free training session and see if you like the crowd. If you don't, that's okay. You don't have to go back, but just taking this step forward is really gonna help make you feel like you're a part of the community and make you feel like you're at home, even if you're not. Although sometimes we love to complain about German culture and these crazy culture shocks that we experience, try to embrace the culture. Try to understand it. Try to find aspects of the culture here in Germany that you love. For example, I love that the stores are closed on Sundays. I used to complain about it all the time, but once you actually embrace it and you say, okay, Sunday is for me. I'm gonna do whatever I want, but I'm not gonna work. I love the fact that their bread is so fresh and you can go every morning and get fresh bread for breakfast or for lunch. And then not just the little things, but also the big things. There are different traditional festivals here. Like in our area, there's something called Erntedankfest, which is kind of like a version of Thanksgiving here in Germany. It's to give thanks to the harvest. They'll host a parade, walk down the streets in their wooden clogs and their Dünde and their Lederhosen, and they'll throw up potatoes and carrots and stickers for the kids. They have like a big beer tent. It's almost like a mixture of Thanksgiving and Oktoberfest, and I absolutely love it. And there's nothing comparable in Canada. So integrating myself into these traditions and festivities makes it feel like it's also part of me, right? And when nothing else works, number 6 would be stay connected at home. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes when I have a video call with my mom or my sister, for example, and then I get off the call, that whole day I kind of like, my world just flips upside down. I'm in a bad mood. I don't know why. Now I can read the room. I can understand my emotions and realize it's because I really miss them. And it makes me almost want to go back home when I have these calls. But if you keep it up to date and you're doing it often and it's just kind of like a quick check-in, like 15-minute calls, you know, hey mom, what are you doing today? Like, cool, have fun, love you, bye. It's part of your day-to-day activities. So your mom or your family or your friends are still with you. But don't forget that can't be your everything, because you really do have to focus on integrating into the community here and having real life friends in your face, you know, who can go out for lunch with you and talk if you're having a bad day or something. So you do need to have a healthy balance of both, but make sure that you stay connected. And lastly, this is a tip that I have just recently learned. I have talked a lot about mental health in previous videos because it is a very taboo topic here in Germany, but it's a topic that I constantly want to reiterate is so important that we do open up and talk about, because feeling homesick is part of your mental health, right? It's something that you really need to tackle and succeed at tackling to make sure that you feel at home here, so that you don't get up and go home when you really ideally wanted to stay here for work or for love or whatever it might be. Your mental health has to take first priority out of everything. I'm a people pleaser because I'm Canadian, but the Germans have taught me the most important thing in life is really making sure that you're happy. Yes, that sounds rather selfish, and yes, sometimes I think you took it a step too far. However, this is one of the most important things I've learned in Germany. You can't be a people pleaser if you yourself are not happy. I go home and I feel like it's exhausting making other people happy all the time. So if you can focus on yourself first and make sure that you're in a good spot here in Germany and that you're happy, and that also has to do with your physical health too, right? Like your mental health and your physical health affect each other. So go for workouts, go on walks, explore the neighborhood. Germans love to eat dinner and then go on a stroll in the rain or sun. So try that out too. And just don't forget to check in with yourself at the end of every day and think, am I happy? What could I change? How can I be creative and understand myself and my needs and my wants? In order for everybody else in your life to be happy around you, you have to be strong and happy. So do that. Please focus on all of the things I've just mentioned to you. Yes, I say they're easy because you know what? At the end of the day, it is all easy stuff. You just have to rip off the band-aid and do it. I know that was a lot of like motivational talking for you. Not as quirky as some of my other videos, but I really wanted to get this video out before the cold kicks in and everybody starts feeling like a little bummy, and I get it, it's natural, but I really hope that these tips help you. If you have any other tips to add, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm really excited to be back filming long form videos. I can't wait to see what comments you guys have. So vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.